Part 3. What is the intention behind white men coming to a developing region and opening a school for the future leaders of that region? In other words, the imperialist West creates an elitist class of Africans to exploit its own people, or creates the future leaders to be loyal to them. Barwaqa University, which is owned by Abarso Network, is ran by your wife, a 29-year-old Caucasian woman from Texas who probably shouldn't be running a university in Somaliland. In your article, you stated and quoted, nowhere in the US was a university gonna let a 29-year-old be the head of it. Why are we allowing that in Somaliland? Are we worth less? Are we so dumb that our children can be taught, our brightest children can be taught by teachers with no educational background? Wake up! Jesse watched this clip and it inspired him to move to Somaliland. Now, 5 years later, he's starting a private equity firm in Somaliland. Let's talk about the dangers of private equity. In 2015, researchers from Nigeria, Norway, India, and the US published an article called Financial Flows and Tax Havens Combining to Limit the Lives of Billions of People. This article is the most comprehensive report on the economic inputs and outputs of emerging economies to date. This report calculates the net transfer of financial resources between poor and rich countries. The report found that by 2012, developing and emerging economies lost $2 trillion at the hands of imperialist rich countries. The article also states that when you factor in estimated underinvoicing, ripoffs, and other criminality that can't be statistically traced because there is no regulation in these countries, that number is closer to $3 trillion, which is 12% of all poor countries' GDP. GDP, which stands for Gross Domestic Product, is an economical term that I can make another video about. So what does all that mean? In other words, we're getting robbed. In the 1970s, an economist from Brazil named Roy Mauro Marini came up with a theory called the dependency theory. He pulled from the theory of economic development by Karl Marx. His theory discusses the concept of neo-colonial predatory capitalism. The theory includes super-exploitation. Super-exploitation focuses on external actors, like Jesse's private equity firm, hindering the development of emerging economies like Somaliland. When private equity firms come into emerging economies, it creates a dependency on capital and technology from abroad.